Second company is, first company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. Our second company is BlackSeriesEdition.com. Now, projector I'm using in this demonstration is a projector that cost me $34. I got it. It's an Optima portable projector. Actually, it's my cat's projector. That's his projector right there. And there it is right there. I paid around $34 off of eBay. Now, the reason why I can use 720p projectors, very cheap, low-end projectors, is due to the fact that the technology we have here is designed to do the work. Where when you're using a gray screen or a white screen or some other screen, sometimes some of the certifies. Why don't you see these certified demonstrations using our projectors? So I guess I'd say they would be in that category also. I'm pretty sure they probably would pick up, but again, our screens do produce 100% contrast levels, so this being the blackest screen that we make out of the Black Series edition, this screen would have the ability to pull a 100% contrast level over a certified screen with no problem. So the projector we're using is 720p, 600 by 800 res, an SVGA projector at around 3000 lumens. As you can see, we are standing, we got some taco stuff here in the room because we got the floor projections in the next room. But we're at about 10 to 11 feet. This is how far back this area goes. This is why in this section I can only use ultra short throws in this particular environment. Now, the projector, as I said before, cost me $34. They're under 50 bucks on eBay, but this one cost me $34. It's Optima. Now, the reason why, as I explained before, why gray and white screens require expensive projectors, because again, they have to make up for what the screen can't see. One of the things a gray screen can't see or a white screen can't pick up is color, and they don't see contrast. They can pick up the white levels, they just can't see the color and contrast. It doesn't register due to the fact that the contrast levels come up extremely poor. With our technology being able to see a 100% contrast level, we can maintain extremely white levels, we can pick up beautiful colors, and we can maintain a 100% contrast level, which is extremely important in any application when it comes to movies. Now, also too, I will be going through some sites today. We're not talking about this house paints, or we're not doing that. It's just, no. We're talking about professional screen paint makers to see the difference between how, not to slam them anyway, but it shows the difference in how we display our technology versus how they display their screen paint products. Because I said before that in a lot of demonstrations we see with high-end companies that develop these products, we do not see any form of real video demonstrations, not enough picture demonstrations, and so forth. And they also have a habit of using very high-end expensive projectors in their demonstrations. Oh, sorry about that. Now, as I said before, the reason why a gray screen, and we can mark my word, do the research right there on camera. The reason why gray screens and white screens require high-end projectors, and again, I said to make up for something they can't see because they do not pick up contrast or color. We have multiple projectors running downstairs right now. I can put a gray screen or white screen certified to any one of these setups, and neither one of them will pick up. As I showed you upstairs in the room, when we did the multi-projector swap out between 200 lumens, ultra short throw, 4,000, 5,000, not going to work. So that means with our technology, you don't save hundreds, you save thousands of dollars, because again, it's not required for you to have an expensive projector. How is the white levels on this technology? The white levels on this technology are freaking insane. I can read my text off my computer from way back here with no problem. And that's off a $34 projector. So prices for what I paid to do this setup in here, next to nothing. $140 to the floor. $150 for this projector right here, which is my long throw view Sonic. Projector that displays on the floor, 60 bucks. Projector that displays to the screen, 270 bucks. Most expensive projector we have in here, only $500. That's it. Because we don't have to spend a ton of money for an insane contrast capability, because the projector is not going to be able to pick up a proper contrast level, and therefore we don't have to spend all that extra money for that. I'm trying to get my point to adjust here. I got the projector always pushed up to the top, so that way it can take in as much light as possible. Well, that's the reason why they had to go out and spend all this money for these expensive machines, because again, you have to make up for what your screen can't do. Well, our technology doesn't have that issue. See, our screens do the work. It's not the other way around. So that's the reason why you have to go out and spend money for an expensive projector that produces very high color capabilities, because your screen can't see color. And then even after you spend the money for the color, for a projector with the high capability, you have to go and you have to calibrate that machine so you can get your colors to come up correctly, because they can't push because the screen's having an issue. Nothing wrong with your projector. The problem you're having at the end of the day comes down to your screen. That's what it comes down to. Let's try that one again without a commercial. That's what you have to worry about. The reason why you spend money for a high rating of black levels is because your screen can't see contrast. So therefore you will spend the money for those contrast levels. You have to put back in what the screen will not produce back out. And then ambient light rejection technology, well, you can forget that, because ambient light rejection technology does not apply to a light gray screen, and it definitely doesn't apply to a white screen. So that's definitely not going to happen. And that's why when you watch those demonstrations, they're all sitting in the dark. There's nothing wrong with the ultra short though projector. I said before, it's sitting right on top of the screen. That's 3,000 lumens. There's no distance draw as we're using right now, so it's not going to lose any lumens. Very little at that. So it's not the lumen problem. It's a screen problem, because there's no excuse for a projector to literally sit that close to a screen and you still have to be in a dark environment. And the only reason why it has nothing to do with the projector or the screen not producing enough gain. The problem is that the screen can't see color or contrast with the lights on, because it'll wash out on you. That's the problem. And this is why when we do the research and we go through the channels, we always see the same thing. Dark environment, poorly lit environment, very poorly lit environments on machines that cost thousands of dollars. This is a $34 portable Optima projector right there. Cost me 35 bucks. Doesn't even have a HDMI port. We're using an adapter for HDMI to VGA to run. Now this technology can run 1,000 lumens. On the Black Series page, we have a section set up for 1,000 lumens display. We're going to be doing a few demonstrations on this for cheap projectors. See how beautiful the image pops up? This is why I said that you're cheating your projector. This is why I explained to you, you get half of your projector. Like I said, sad thing about it is the technology standing behind me was probably displayed on a white screen. People who designed the projector never even got a chance to see the full potential of their technology, because they cheated the projector by putting it on a white surface. And they thought they were seeing an amazing image. Probably had a show about it and had an electronic show and said, wow, look at the colors. They had no idea the potential of that machine, because the screen was cheating the projector's capability. Now, for my customers, the reason why I say some thousands is because with our technology, again, we can beat certified screens, which means it doesn't cost them $3,000 to $5,000 for a screen setup. And then on top of that, the projector, they don't have to have an expensive machine to make up for what the screen can't do. It's going to cost them even less. Where in some demonstrations, and so we got to bring this up because the people that do it are using again, house paint. It is what it is. It's a house paint. And a $3,300 machine to try to make it look somewhat decent. And they still have to be in the dark. And they still got to calibrate that machine. That is a shame. Shouldn't be calibrating a machine like that. And here's my projector is sitting here at a whopping 600 by 800. Taco's dinosaur is in the way. Always in the way. 600 by 800, 720p. This is an SVGA projector. Price tag under 50 bucks. Now, of course, they can easily say, oh, but I can do the same thing. Yeah, you can display. Gray screen can display off of this. A white screen can display off of this. But the problem you have is you can't do it in a fully lit environment, and you can't produce color and contrast because it will wash out. Because when they do demonstrations, there's never a comparison, which I can't wait to put up there in a few minutes. So this saves companies tons of money. As I said before, coming down to the school district, I made this comment a couple of times. If you people who actually work in the school district industry had contacted me about how that is an extremely good idea because they have to keep constantly upgrading their projectors. And again, when they upgrade these machines, guess where that money comes from? It comes from taxes. And that taxes comes out of your pocket at the end of the day. Now, if we can take their older projectors that they're using and show them that they do not have to upgrade for quite a long time due to the fact that the technology is going to be to produce in fully lit environments. It's not going to wash out. It's not going to fade. They can read text off the computer crystal clear because the screens generate an extremely high white level as you're reading the text right there, perfectly clean, as you can see. No problem whatsoever. Do you need a close-up, which you're used to? Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. So that means that saves them a ton of money. Because if a white screen was up there, they would have to spend the money, or a gray screen, but usually we see a white screen up there, not a gray. They would have to spend a lot of money for a projector, a high enough lumen count, insane contrast capabilities, color, the whole 9 yards, just to get an image to pull off a white surface. And it's still washed out and it looks horrible. That technology can run off projectors as low as $34. This projector costs less than my $60 projector in the next room. So imagine you don't have to change out for a while. And for those who are saying, well, they use this on a whiteboard, an interactive whiteboard. Well, guess what that technology we have sitting over top of it, the 3D mapping technology, there's a clear version designed to actually pull up a contrast level of any white surface that you can manipulate and write on the screen. We've designed it before. Overseas, we did this one. All right. Now, I've said this many times before. How are they going to save you money if they cannot save money themselves? How? So I have appointments set up to go to a couple of school districts, which would be pretty cool, and show off the technology, not in front of a bunch of kids. I'm talking about in front of people that are basically going to be funding the support for this technology to be put into schools. And you can't go in there with a gray product because the problem is you're going to have lights on. They're going to have to be to see what they're writing at the end of the day. You can't be in a dark environment, so that's not going to work. Certified screen, and this is the reason why you don't see them in the school district, are too expensive. It's $5,000 a screen. Think about that. And how many classrooms you have to install this into at $5,000 a pop. That's a lot of money.
Now that's not going to work either. Several different versions of gray. I didn't realize that. We really had several different versions of gray.
I got 4 different versions of a gray screen in here. Alright, so what we're going to show you is we're going to take a gray screen and a white screen. I'm going to put them up against our Black Series edition. Mostly, like I said, you're going to be seeing white screens. We're going to keep white screens. Not too many gray screens out there, but we're going to be dealing with a lot of white screens. Alright, so let's go over here and move this to the side for a moment. To my kitchen, or where we ever go to my kitchen over here. There we go. Put a white sheet of paper here, because that's going to represent the white screen. And we'll take the Network Gray 773. Okay, I want to make sure we clear this theory up, because again, we don't want you to be misled into thinking that you're going to be able to pull out color in contrast levels on a gray screen, because again, there are individuals who have lied to you at the end of the day, trying to make you believe that this is going to work on a gray screen. And I'm here to tell you it's not going to work, because I developed and make these products many years back, and they only work one way. That's it. Now let's go over here. Let's pull out simple basic color. Need a color change up. Keyboard, I need to have way over here with me. That's where it should be at. Right over here. Let's see. I should have started slow. Oh, forgot we did a lot of work on this one right here when we were testing out this screen, so everything is going to be in here. Alright, so we're going to go do basic colors, just basic colors. Okay, start with some political nonsense first. Let's go over here, try to see if we can get it again. Anything else will work, I just don't want to be watching that nonsense. Not a big fan of all the slandering. Alright, so in here we're doing a slow color change out. As I told you before, that projectors, I go to full screen? Are we in full screen? We're in full screen, okay. So projectors that gray screens and white screens require expensive projectors, because again, like I said, they can't see color or contrast. We're using Network Gray 773. Most people will lean toward this as a way of fixing the problem with the white screen. White screens don't pick up anything at all, period. They have an extremely hard time picking up color or contrast. In the demonstration I'm showing you with 1,000 lumens, sorry, with 3,000, we're at 3,000 lumens on this projector. At $34, as you can see, it doesn't pick up correctly on the color swap out or color change out. Network Gray 773 picks up a little bit of a slight color, but not enough to be able to give you a rich color that you need in the day. And this is the reason why you're pushed to calibrate your projector. You spend a lot of money for a machine, you're going to end up having to calibrate it in the long run and being stuck in a dark environment. And the environment we're at right now has a lot of light, so this is how much light we're using in our environment. See how bright it is in here, nice and bright. At 3,000 lumens on a $34 long throw projector, portable, Optima. As you can see, the gray screen is having an issue, and so is the white screen not picking up at all. This is why our black technology is far more superior. And I have no idea where the nonsense started by, or we know where it started from, telling people that a gray screen is going to see a contrast level Gray screen has a hard time trying not to match house paint at the end of the day. That's the problem gray screens go through. But no, they don't see color or contrast. Let's go over to contrast levels. Over here, let's pull up a star field. We got everything here? We got everything in here. Yeah. Everything is in here from the last demonstration. Oh, we got snow screensavers. Let's definitely go to that. I do love doing the snow screensavers. Now the technology under the our Black Series technology pulls an extremely high white level. This is a jet black screen that has the ability to be able to pull high white levels. And again, even with these white levels, you have to have some form of detail because you got to be able to see the house and the trees and everything else. And you can't see that due to the fact that the white screen's washing it out. Gray screens can pick it up a little bit. But again, like I said, our technology is jet black. As you can see with the outline of the screen, it is a jet black screen and it can maintain white levels that high. That's the amazing thing about our technology, that we do those white level tests. That screen can generate a high enough white level to be able to go side by side or keep up with a surface that produces a much higher white level. I'm gonna let that play a bit. I'm gonna bring my speakers in here because we got sound for this unit. I'm going to be running sound through this, so let me track down my speakers here. So that's the first thing we're asked in any form site we go to is how's the white level is going to be on our technology. Well, Black Series white levels are absolutely insane. They use 100% of the heightener technology. That's why yesterday, displaying off the ceiling, we can have our lights on and that screen will absorb that light and still maintain those dark and beautiful images. Well, there you go right there. So, as I said before, our technology can transition, which means it can show a white level and then it can transition to color and contrast. Something that screens can't do. Excuse me. I'll bring a speaker in for the sound. I keep forgetting that unit has sound. Cable's around here somewhere. Let's get that to adjust right. That's our adapter. Okay. See if we can get to the bottom. Thinking where our line is at, so we can run our sound through. That's why I can't express enough that when we watch demonstrations on gray screens, we see a lot of colors. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see why it's giving us this problem. When Wi-Fi in here, we should be okay. Yeah, Wi-Fi is perfectly fine. No problem. Let's just reset the screen, that's all. Reset the video. Wi-Fi is running perfectly fine. There we go. This fits a little better. All right, let's see if we can get back to our video. There we go. Now, we've seen people using the Optima 55 or 5600 projector and try to show it in a fully lit environment. Well, we have demonstrations of that one outside on 140 inches. Outside, not inside. Outside. No calibration required. There's the sound running. We're going to be using this demonstration today a lot on our $34 Optima projector.
Line in.
There we go. Okay. So as I told you, we can show you white levels. No problem whatsoever. We don't shy away from that kind of stuff at the end of the day. That's the fun part of our technology, is showing the screen doing something that it's not designed to do. Where in gray products or white screens, they can't show you contrast levels. And they show you colors, they would do it on a standalone, which means there'll be nothing there to compare the screen to. So you can't see if the screen's producing good color or bad color. That's why they do it on a standalone. And they do it in a dark environment. Can't be in a fully lit environment because, again, the screen will wash out on you. Now, when I go to these meetings, I can just take that simple projector with me. I don't need anything big or anything like that. I mean, that'll do the job just fine. And I can go in there and I can show them why this black technology is more advanced than the traditional white screens they've been using for many years. You know how big a school contract is? It's massive. And when you hit one of them, it causes a chain reaction. You will hit every last one of them. We can go in there and we can show them why this technology will be able to produce in a fully lit environment on an old, outdated projector. That's the impressive part they're going to like the most, how old the projectors are being used. Where they're used to seeing companies come in, show off their screens and bring in this high-powered, expensive machine. Because they have to calculate how much light is going to be in the environment, if the screen's going to be able to pull up, the color is going to be infected by the light. All this is done in a room before they bring those projectors in, so they know what to use in the demonstration to sell the screen. Well, we can walk in there with a 720p, 600 by 800 res projector and do this next to a white screen. And that projector cost me 34 bucks. We can beat out any certified technology because at the end of the day, we can overpower certifieds, which means if they were going up for a bid, we could take their bid from them. Because again, our technology is far more expensive than a $5,000 screen. And our product at 32 ounces can do a 160-inch screen at that, and ultra short throw compatible, which is very important for a school district. It's for ultra short throw projectors. That's what they use the most. Now, if we're a question on white levels, that's not going to be a problem, because again, as you can see, that's a jet black screen that's pulling a level that high. That's what makes this particular technology a little very interesting. See that? Read the text with no problem. Where the other screen causes a whiteout effect. Even the gray paint causes a whiteout effect. It can't pick up contrast. Contrast is even needed in a white level, believe it or not. The problem is when they tell you that, oh, it's about the white levels, the white levels, the white levels. No. Contrast is in white levels. If you watch a movie, if you watch a snowstorm, those branches that come up in the background, anything that comes up in the background, even has detail to it, you're not watching a white screen. Who in there is sitting there watching an all white screen? There is contrast in white levels, because when you watch a demonstration with snowboarding, there's color in it, there's contrast in it, all that's in along with the white. You're not just sitting there watching a blinding white screen. So there has to be color in it. Oh, while we're here, let's grab this real quick. We got to come back to that color. There you go. This is why you spend a lot of money for your 2 million to 1, 50,000 to 1, 20,000 to 1 contrast, because you have to put something back into the screen because your screen can't see it. It means you have to buy an expensive projector to try to fix the problem. And even with that, you still will be stuck in an ambient light controlled environment, and you still will be calibrating your projector to fix your colors. This technology we have in here, and all these cheap projectors, can pick up a contrast level over 2 million to 1 due to the fact the screen is physically black. Where a projector that does have the ability to pick up a 2 million to 1 can't even see it because the screen is gray. Can't no projector on the face of the planet that has a contrast level that can literally turn a white surface into a jet black surface. If you believe that, at the end of the day, I know I got a bridge in Brooklyn I would like to sell you. That would be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And if there was such a capability, you think that projector is going to be within your price range? I don't think so. If you have a problem with spending the proper amount of money for your projection screen, then how in the world would you afford a machine such like so? That machine would be millions of dollars for that technology to do that. And the funny thing about it, I see people spend thousands of dollars for projectors, but they will buy a screen that is absolute crap, thinking that the projector having all those bells and whistles, when it hits the screen, it's going to fix it. It's not going to fix jack. That's why you contact us, because you see our demonstrations. You see, wow, this guy's in fully lit environments. It's pulling 100% contrast levels. Just has the window light open. He can have the lights on. He can project off the floor. We can project off the ceiling. You want to do the exact same thing. The problem, you can't do the exact same thing because, again, you can't do it with a gray screen, and you definitely can't do it with the white screen. Unless you got the extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 burning a hole in your pocket, you can go near the certifieds, but guess what? We can take on certifieds. You just paid out thousands of dollars for a screen that this technology under hundreds can beat. That's what makes us now the dominant technology. So at the end of the day, the customer doesn't have to spend a lot of money. He or she can go down to Amazon and pick up the same projector I have over here. They don't want to spend the money for under 50 bucks. And so what? It doesn't have an HDMI port. They can run an HDMI converter like I'm doing right now. I'm not losing any picture quality whatsoever. The idea of darker screens is so you can pick up more detail to the image, more depth to it. You can't pick that up with the gray screen because the gray screen doesn't have contrast to begin with. You have to buy something to try to put the contrast into the screen. And the more money you spend on the machine to put better contrast, the better the image you will be able to pull, which means you're going to have to spend money to do that. Where in this technology, you don't have to do that. You can choose whatever projector you want. You're still going to pick up an over 2 million to 1 in contrast. And this is why people who make these products are threatened by the technology, and this is why they try their hardest to say, well, it comes out so dark you can't see it. I'm going to say the same thing about diamonds. Diamonds are extremely dark. This diamond is so dark of a screen that I literally mistaken that thing a few times for a black screen. A couple of times I mistaken it for black screens. Daylight makes an extremely dark screen also too. Mistaken that one for a black screen also too. That's why I purged it. Like, that's a black screen. Daylight has a black screen. That's freaking crazy. Dragonflies, another extremely dark gunmetal screen. I told you the best gunmetal is the screen that's right on the edge of being black, but not black. Are you going to see those particular screens can't see white levels either? No, they're threatened by darker technology. That's what they're threatened by. And gunmetals are threatened by black technology. Because with gunmetal, it's all about the contrast for them. And when you got a screen that can pull a 100% black level, then that means your screen no longer can do exactly what it's designed to do. It's like the pecking order when it comes to chickens, on which one becomes the dominant bird. And this screen is now, when we go out there, whether we're online or offline, that becomes the dominant screen because we can display on any level where that technology becomes the most dominant technology. So when you got people out there talking about how their products work such and such and so, well, two things we ask them: how much did you pay for your machine? Oh, I paid so. Well, why would you need all that to begin with? How is it? Why do you? Because because the color, it produces better color, it produces better contrast, really. So you just paid all that money for better color and contrast. And what else? You know, you got anything else? I mean, I can see about the extra stuff like speakers or something on it, or Wi-Fi capability and stuff like that. Okay, that's just extra perks. Okay. But what else you got on there that you're paying money for? Oh, because it does so many million colors and all that. Well, do you see those colors at the end of the day? In a fully lit environment, can you pick it up? Well, if I calibrate the projector, I can get you got to do what? You're calibrating a machine that costs that kind of money? These are the talks we have when we go to forum sites. Well, what are you using on this? My projector is sitting right here. 720p 600 by 800 res projector. I paid like $34 for this machine. Now the conversation turns into, where can I get it from? Because you're only getting half your machine. Now say you go out and you spend the money for a 4K projector. You get something really nice for yourself. How much of that money did you get back out of your investment that you're displaying off your screen? Sitting in the dark with a machine that costs about $3,000, $4,000, something's wrong there. And especially, again, if it's ultra short throw, extremely something's wrong there because you're laying right against the screen, so it should not be an issue with color washout. But as I told you before, that you're introducing an extra $3,000 lumens to your screen. You're pushing more light against your screen that it can't absorb in. And instead of absorbing in all that light and bringing back an image at you, what it's doing is it's actually washing your image out even faster. That's why I could never understand when they have these screens called ultra short though compatible screens, why they wash out so badly. The reason why it's ultra short though compatible, because screen paints should not have to be ultra short though compatible. A screen paint's going to pick up regardless, whether it be bare, silver screen, any one of those are going to pick up regardless. It doesn't make a difference at all. It's a screen paint. It's going to pick it up. The reason why they say ultra short though compatible, because this actually applies to the certifies, not to the screen paints. We have to put that in there because what happens to the certified screens, they figure it plagues the screen paints. Certified screens have something called a reflective surface on it. Reflective surface allows the screen to maintain higher white levels. It's kind of like a reflective coating. The problem is that the reflective coating can also cause something called a narrow viewing cone effect, which means if you turn from left to right, or if the screen's not laying perfectly flat, it becomes dark around the edges, or the screen becomes unviewable on an angle. Also, some of them are plagued by ultra short throw projectors and short throw projectors where they don't pick up at all. They come up black. So they're having their specifications. Do not use it with such and so because it will not work. It'll come up black. This is for long throw. So that's where that came from. But somehow somebody incorporated that into paint. Now, if you have a paint that's having a problem picking up an ultra short throw, there's something really wrong with that product, because you can't do that. And we already know somebody posted that in on one of their pages that they don't pick up on ultra short throws on a black screen. That's not good. Ultra short throw should pick up on anything. Literally, I can take black house paint and an ultra short throw will pick up on it. It won't pick up bright, beautiful colors. It won't pick up, those white levels won't pick up, but it will pick up. And it won't, you can still turn to the side and see somewhat an image. That came from certified screens. That's where that came from. Ultra short throw customized screens came from that. And because of that, being plagued with the certifies, the screen paints also got lumped into that somehow. And now people say, well, it's an ultra short throw, but work with it. And that's why you see us moving from side to side and upside down under the screen, top going around the screen all the way around to show that it does pick up. So that's where all that came from. All right, let's come out of here. Let's go over to, I was in my cottage for a minute. I got knocked out of that.
This is the story
for political stuff.
One wallet that started it all. It's a story of love and adventure and murder.
All right, back on that one. There we go. Now we're asked this all the time, and even out there we're going to be asked the same thing. What about white levels? What about surfaces and all that? And we can show them right from the door. No problem whatsoever. We can pick up with no problem whatsoever. The screen that actually has the, well, actually all of them had 1%. Excuse me. All of them had the 100% of the heightener technology embedded. Usually when we do the heighteners on these screens, they, a couple of them you can watch on camera where they were producing and generating so much light that it looked like the screen was hotspotting. It was generating a ton of white light. Imagine that, a black screen hotspot. Isn't that interesting? But it was actually pulling up all this hot light off the screen, and we had to bring something in to adjust it. This technology is a little different. It absorbed 100% of the heightener, and we never had to put an adjuster into it, which means that means it dulls the screen just a little bit, so that the image can pick up without shooting off light. This is why the screen generates such a high white level, because it uses 100% of it. We never had to adjust anything into it. So I told you the most dangerous screen you can have is a screen that's super jet black, but can produce a high enough white level, which means it can transition back and forth. And we go to, let's see.
I don't like the sound on these speakers. Let me go grab my second set. I'm not liking the sound on these.
Get my other ones. These I might have to repair. These have been having some problems. This is why I say that, you know,
You need to go, if you're going to test your products, you're going to have to test against those certifieds, because man, that's the first thing you're going to have to go through. Oh, you're going to blue. There we go, that's better.
yeah, you're gonna have to go through those certifieds first. That Nightmare Forest, boy, because those things are something else. They're no joke. The gunmetals, oh, they're no joke at all to go through. Gunmetal screens, so if you can take out one of those, your screen's doing pretty good. And mind you, when you do a gunmetal screen, you can't just do it on white levels. You can't just do it on color. You have to show what that screen is engineered to do. It's engineered to pull a heavy contrast level. And there's no gray screen or white screen that will match a gunmetal technology. It's not going to happen. Never seen it. And in demonstrations, I still haven't seen them yet being done. And I mean, you have to do those in fully lit environments. The screens usually have a 0.9 or 0.8 gain attached to them. So you have to do it in a fully lit environment. Because you belittle one of those screens at the end of the day, and you will have lawyers knocking at your door. So you better make sure you beat that screen 100%. That's why you see me when I come on there. I don't take those screens outside. Nope. That'll get me hit with a lawsuit. I don't put those screens against ultra short throw projectors. That'll get me hit with a lawsuit. I do them at long throw projectors. The ones going to use for long throws, and one for ultra short throws, use for ultra short throws. If we have any of them that go outside, we use those for outside strictly, and they're all done in fully lit environments. Surfaces are taped flat to the screen, because if they buckle a little bit, they can go dark around the edges, and it basically distorts the image. Yeah, you'll mess around and get hit with a lawsuit. You better make sure that everything is up to par. So if we're saying we could take one of those screens out, we have to make sure everything is done by the book. And if you haven't passed at least 6 or 7 certified gunmetals by now, there's no way in the world you're going near our technology, because we can wipe them out with no problem. Oh, before we start this right here, let's see. A $34 projector. I want to get another one of these. They have several models of this particular projector. I'll put the model number of the projector. You can go right on eBay and check them out. And like I said, I'll also put the converter I got. I like this converter. It's a good one. I've had many converters. This is actually the best one. It's a perfect signal. You have to worry about your signal washing out or images becoming distorted because the signal doesn't push up high enough. You don't have to go through any of that. Now, let me see if we can look at something here. You have to have detail, people. Oh, and by the way, mind you, that's a jet black screen. Do you see how high the white levels are next to the gray paint? Yeah. That's how powerful this technology is. Isn't that interesting? There's our certified screen right there. Talk about his toys. Had to bring him in here due to the fact that we're working in the other room. Let me make sure this is laying nice and flat. Now, that is a white sheet of paper next to a $3,000 projection screen. Anything that lays against this technology turns white, or near close to white. That is the Darkstar 9. The Darkstar 9 is actually darker than daylight screen, much darker. It produces a much better contrast level. I did them side by side on a white surface, and yeah, that one definitely comes out. So out of the certified screens, that would be the top of the technology when it comes to gunmetal. And when I watch people, I watched somebody do this demonstration against Darkstar 9, a lot of colors, dark environments, that's what they did. There's no way in the world they could challenge that technology in a fully lit environment. The screen has a 0.9 gain. It would be able to pull up in a fully lit environment without a problem. The problem is that the gray screen would have an issue. Now, for those you're looking at it saying, well, I see it matching the screen, that's because it's laying against our technology. Anything that lays against that technology turns white. Now, if we put this on a white wall, then you see the difference, which we've done in demonstrations upstairs. We stuck it on a white wall, you see the difference between the two. But laying next to this technology, everything is treated the same. Now, as you can see, the gunmetal is going to pull a little bit better, slightly better contrast level than the gray screen and white screen, but next to ours, it doesn't pick up too well. And this, people, is on a $3,500 projector, SVGA. Nothing expensive, no lasers, no 4K, none of that. Make sure this lays flat. We need this to lay perfectly flat. Do not want this buckling out. The reason why some people will let the screen buckle, and I've seen people do this in demonstrations, let the screen buckle, knowing that that's going to cause the image to distort. And they do that because to make their screen look good. You shouldn't do that. If you're going to do a fair 100% honest demonstration, you make sure that surface is laying nice and flat. Because what's going to happen again if you come across that company one day? That's going to be pretty embarrassing. They're going to get you hit with a massive lawsuit at the end of the day too. So anytime you're doing any certifieds, go through the book, read all their information. Okay, this can't be used with this, and blah, 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 blah. So $3,400 projector. Now I'm pretty sure when they did the Dark Star 9, they didn't use my projector sitting behind me. They weren't in my kind of lighting at all, period. So they're probably in an ambient light controlled environment. We can look them up. In an ambient light controlled environment, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure they weren't using my projector behind me. That my $34 Optima portable projector with 600 by 800 SVGA 720p. Pretty sure they're probably at a 4K projector, maybe a little higher than that. Probably can be used ultra short throws. Ultra short throws don't work on that, so it's definitely long throw. And they probably had a projector with an extremely high contrast level. I mean, you spend that kind of money for a projector, of course it's going to have extremely high contrast level attached to it. And it's going to have millions and millions upon billions and billions, excuse me, of color capabilities. And I'm pretty sure they brought a professional in to calibrate it and all that other good stuff. And this is why we consider the Black Series now, like I said, not only the dominant, but one of the most powerful screens we've ever developed. All right, so we went through those levels right there, did we not? Let's go back again. I like to go back again on some of these again. Oh, little tiger over here. Tiger, tiger. There we go. Now we understand why that not so much white screens, not certified, we don't see it from them, gray screen paint products. We understand why. There's only two people. The rest of them are in their own world, which is pretty nice. But there's only two people that are terrified of it, probably a few other people that are terrified of it, that try to come against black technology by saying, no, it's not this, it's not that, and blah, 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 blah. But the problem we have here is no test demonstrations under their products, same high-end projectors, same dark environments, all that other stuff they do at the end of the day. They're not backing their products up like they should. We go to websites, we don't find things that should be there. There needs to be a test page there. There's supposed to be a test page there, showing you how your product is tested, how it's going to perform. Should be there. But there's nothing there. Nothing but dark environments. That's all it is. So yes, we consider them to be threatened by the products. Of course, they should be threatened by it. Most ones that should be threatened by it are certified. They have more to lose. We're talking about a screen that costs almost about as much as you would pay for a bike. And here you have the technology that's going to be introduced to the system that basically can pull white levels just like your screen, can pull better color, can pull better contrast, does not require expensive projectors, has outdoor technology attached to it, window technology attached to it, projector mapping technology. There's actually a gaming version of that technology. That's a serious threat of technology. It takes some years to develop those screens. It takes us probably around 20 to 30 minutes to develop the technology. All the technology we have in this room wasn't developed in years. It wasn't even developed in weeks. Not in 3 days, not in 4 days. 1 day, and in 20 minutes, all this technology was engineered. Within a month's time, we built an entire company from new technology that fast, that quick, with the test to back everything up on it. That's what makes a company a serious threat, because the technology can be generated so fast, so quick. And not only that, it has the ability to prove itself, which means we don't come out and put it into a dark environment and go, voila. No, we show hardcore tests on what makes the technology good. On top of that, it's extremely affordable, which means customers can afford it in the day. They're not stuck with a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 price sticker shock. And they don't have to be subjected to products that are not tested at the end of the day, or white screens that have been around since the silent era of movies. And this gives the customer an option. Because instead of them going up there and going, oh, gee whiz, I got to pay how much for a projector? What the freak? They can go to eBay and go shopping and spend under 50 bucks for a projector. No calibrating, 100% contrast level, pick up beautiful colors, no contrasting at all, no contrast worries at all. No calibrating. Doesn't make a difference if it's ultra short throw or it's long throw. Really doesn't care. Doesn't make a difference if you have an HDMI port or you don't have an HDMI port. Really doesn't matter. Easy to apply. As you see me paint the screen in no time at all. No crazy instructions. Painted the one outside just like that. No problem whatsoever. That's it. Easy to do. Those are the key things that I keep explaining to people. When you develop a good screen paint product, it has to be easy to apply, no crazy instructions, and must show outstanding results right from the door. We threw everything we possibly could at these screens right from the door. We threw certified screens. We threw ultra short throw projectors, long throw projectors, low luminance projectors, everything at the screen. Absorbed it with no problem. So many different versions of black paint, black fabric. And we can have one of the videos, I threw a pair of black cargo pants and a hoodie up there. Doesn't match. And yet you have people right now that are basically fearing everyday basic house paint. That's bad. That's why we were going to make a challenge, make it untouchable. All we have to do is just add house paint into it. That's it. They can't go near the challenge because they're fear of them matching the house paint. And again, certified screens won't go near challenges due to the fact that you really don't want to go near a screen at the end of the day that costs far less than yours, and if it shows that it takes out your screen, then you're going to have issues. Now, you could say one of these companies could come up and say, hey, you no, we didn't slander you. This is the demonstration right here. If you want to go before a courtroom and actually have us do the demonstration again, I mean, I could really use more publicity. That would be nice, so that's not going to happen. They would choose to just ignore us or probably contact us to see if we want to do business. So I'm going to get ready to do some more demonstrations on my $34 projector. What else we want to show in here real quick? While we're in here. Oh, let's do this one right here. Definitely got to do this one. And like I said before, how are you going to save people hundreds when they got to spend thousands of dollars for a projector just to get the screen to work? You're saving hundreds, you're losing hundreds. I'll let you finish up on that one. I got to get set up. I got demonstrations to do on the floor. We got demonstrations to do on the ceiling, and more updates for the website. Thank you, Lord, for another beautiful day. God bless you. Alright, I gotta go. I don't want to make the video too long. I got to come back in and we got to do some demonstration. I'm going to put the model number of the projector. I'm pretty sure we have it on where you can get it on eBay. They should be around $34. They're around under 50 bucks. Oh shoot, I'm putting everything on my Fire Stick and here I'm on the computer. Simple and plain, people. You're spending too much money for your projector. Well, you know, it's not really. You know what? Well, you are spending a lot of money for a projector, but if you're buying a projector for the purpose of trying to make up for what you can't see with the lights on and your colors washing out, yeah, then you're spending too much money for a projector. If you bought a projector because you want the bells and whistles and I guess 4K and all that stuff with it, well, you got half of a machine. That's what you got. The other half comes from the screen, as I told you before. You're only getting half a projector. Any projector you buy, as long as it's not a knockoff, but any projector you buy, you only got half of a machine. The other half comes from your screen. It depends on what that screen can do. Depends on whether or not you're going to be sitting in the dark, calibrating, colors not coming correctly, or you can't see a contrast level. That's what it comes down to. That's why when I jump on YouTube today and we go do our search, we usually do we call it the reality wake-up call, and we go through people's videos, you will see dark environment, dark environment, dark environment. Definitely going to control the ranting. But yeah, that's what you basically see. And that's the reason why we try to find anything to match our demonstrations, and we don't find anybody that matches our demonstrations because, again, they're using screens that are outdated. We're not having this problem on a $34 projector. I don't know how in the world they're having that problem on a projector that costs that kind of money at the end of the day. Oh, look at this one. I haven't seen this one yet on a cottage. Oh, this would be nice. Doesn't make a difference whatever we pull. Screen can't see it. Well, their screens can't see it. Ours can. I'm gonna get me a couple of portable projectors. I like these machines. They're very lightweight, easy to carry around the house. And they're absolutely fantastic on our technology. Here, let me show you something real quick. We get this all the time and people say, well, what about with the lights out? Man, if you just spent that much money for a projector and the only way you get that thing to fire up, you gotta be in the dark, that is not good at all. That's another huge red flag. There's a slow color changeout we're displaying right there. It gets worse. Absolutely worse. Don't know why, but it always ends up that way. Anytime we deal with certifies, gray paints, white screens, you would think they would do a much better job with the lights up, but no, it's the other way around. Got a little demonstration. Yeah. As long as it's not one of those political things popping up. There we go. Maybe that's because you're being hit with it. I was wondering, there's more lumens coming from the projector than actually in the well-lit environment. That's the only way it could actually, for that to happen. If that's the case, that's pretty checked up. Because you're sitting in the dark. A lot of people get that thought too. If you're sitting in the dark and you're using a projector of 3,000 lumens or somewhere in that range, that this is going to help you with color. No, it's not. Not against black technology, it won't. Your screen's still washed out. Being in the dark won't help you. It's just going to make it worse. Let me see. Colors ain't working. Let's see if that contrast will pull in the dark for you. Grab that star field again. I like using that because so that solid black level. This is 3,000 lumens on the projector. I know we're a little long. Usually when we do these demonstrations, we go over because again, it's so much to show you. Just don't go run through it. There's just stuff you need to see. So as you can see, lights out in the dark, not gonna pull. That's what we'll do. Let me see if I can track down what the remote control is. All right, let's take out the neon out of here. All right, all neon's gone. Still can't see it. Told you. You're gonna have to spend the money for an expensive projector. Hey, get out of there. Yeah, it's big about this cable. Got the whole floor to walk across. You walk behind the back of the cables. It's my cat. Anyway, as I told you before, doesn't really make a difference. We can bring a 1,000 lumen projector here. They can't see it. Next to a black screen, they can't register, can't pick it up. It doesn't happen. Knocked out all the neon in here. Now we get it nice and dark. You cannot see contrast, which means if someone's telling you at the end of the day that a gray screen, and we used to make them back in the day, I'll tell you from the door, can pick up a contrast level equal to black screens that you don't even pick up next to gunmetals. They don't pick up. Now the reason why the gunmetal screen is looking the same as the other product, because again, it's laying against our technology. This is what our technology does to screens that they lay against them. But that's a lie. Don't believe that nonsense. Anybody else? There, like I said, people who do stuff like that, woo, I told you screens are bright. Mind you, our screens, when we had the lights on, basically dim a little bit because they're absorbing light. Lights out on a black screen, whew, man, this technology is extremely bright. That's why we're in here walking around, all the screens firing up like an arcade in here. The screen was pushing up all that light, yeah. That's why the black series, like I said, final and last. But I'm not making any more products. We're done. There is no more screen paint, no more testing. This is it. Anything after this you may see pop up will be physical screens. That's it. That's our next stage, is for physical screens. We have no interest in making any more paint. We're done. I got somebody saying, but are you sure? Do you have any idea how much testing it goes into to test the paint? It's a lot of freaking work. It isn't just one demonstration, it is multiple demonstrations. And just to show you how vigorous and tested it is, on the black series, now we have tests on the Crystal Edge, but on the black series, you can see all the tests. We literally had to extend pages to the site to take in all the videos. And we're still nowhere near done unloading the rest of the demonstrations for those products on that screen. Let's go with that slow color again. We did the slow color with lights up. Let's do something different. Let's do our 8K videos.
Stuffers makes you happy, folks. Sorry.
So busy. So cheesy. So creamy.
That's why when I explained to you, not being rude, but like I said, if I never had any history on developing any great paints ever, then I don't have a right to talk. But I do. I have an extensive history in developing great paint products. So if I'm looking at a demonstration, I can tell everything in that demonstration on what they're doing, even how the product is made, because I made it many years ago. On so many levels, it's not even funny. I know the flaws that those screens have. So if I see screens in dark environments, aka that screen's definitely having a difficult picking up in fully lit environment. Not enough contrast demonstrations, can't see contrast levels. No real comparison screens, and I mean comparison screens. If that screen is blending into another screen, that is an issue right there. Showing that both products are made exactly the same way. That's the information they're giving back to us when we look at those demonstrations. dark pockets, dark corners. We can tell it's a fake ambient light environment. Because the screen paints back then at that particular time had the exact same problems. Now at that particular time, it wasn't considered to be a problem, it was considered to be an achievement. Now, as things started to go into darker screens, then you see with the lighter screens, we're definitely having issues with fully lit environments, colors weren't pulling up correctly, that was a problem, and people just started making their products a lot more darker. But these lighter mixes, no, that stuff is old, it's really old. That's why I sat there and told you that in all those products, when we went through eBay, everybody has their products marked at under 50 bucks. $80, $90, you get 3 quarts of paint for that. Some of them had gallons. Now, if you want to talk about doing lights out demonstrations, oh, you really want a black technology to go into the dark? A screen that's designed to generate and lighting environment can be near doors and windows, and that screen will generate. Do you really want that screen dipped into a dark environment? Do you know how bad it will become to your screen if that technology dips into a dark area? That means that screen goes beyond its 100% heightener technology because it's no longer fighting light anymore. It can absorb and push out. Anything laying against it, it's going to have a very difficult time. If it had a difficult time with the lights on, it's going to have an extremely difficult time with the lights off. Because now the screen will be running at 100% without any fight involved with any ambient light. Which means anything laying against it is going to have a really bad time. And this is where the technology will dominate when we start developing for the, start advertising for dedicated theater room setups. Taco's down there having a fight with his toys. So launch date for the products will be November the 2nd. November the 2nd, only 3 of the items will be launching. The Black Series has quite a few. Window technology, mapping technology, and the outdoor technology won't be available for probably 2 to 3 months after the official launch date. The official launch date will include the Black Series limited edition, black, which you're seeing right now. The Cinemax, sorry, I keep saying Cinemax, no Cinemax, we don't want that. The complete cinema will be launching, and also to the Fusion Gamer. I have a friend of mine who saw the demonstration on the RetroPie, and he's interested in getting, he's asking what projector I'm using. It's a $270 720p Christie projector. It's all we're using. That's why I love when I talk to customers and I say, well, that's what? That's 720p we're using. But gee whiz, that's the case. I really don't have to spend the money for 4K. Yeah, that's true. You don't have to spend the money for 4K. 1080p would be an advancement, but not that much of an advancement. But still, you know, either I just might as well buy a 1080p projector. Yeah, might as well just buy a 1080p. Yeah, I don't know where the slogan came from, change, saving you thousands. I don't know where that would come from, or hundreds. Where does that even work? Because again, product can't pass house paint, that's even worse. Product can't be used in fully lit environments, can't pull contrast levels, can't take out certified screens. There's no demonstrations of it outside. There's not enough demonstrations on 720p. There's no demonstrations on low lumen projectors, not enough of those. You need about 40 of those at least. Really bad, not good. And on top of that, it's a $3,300 machine needed to make a screen look somewhat decent, and still stuck in the dark, still calibrated. That's not good. When we're sitting here with a machine, an Optima, under 40 bucks, next to a $3,000 certified white surface and a gray screen paint product, or a gray screen paint, or whatever you want to call it, or house paint, what you call it. And we can do this with the lights on or off. No calibration, no HDMI ports on our projector, using VGA adapters. That's it. And we can have our lights on and our screen doesn't even alter or change. Now, for those who've been asking us again, for shipping, we ship all over the world for free. If the address picks up on the shipping station on PayPal, it's getting shipped to your front door. If you require a signature confirmed, it's all free. It's on the site. Signature confirmed is free. Don't feel comfortable about having your package set there, just let me know before we design the label and we'll put it in there. We add it in there for free. So we ship anywhere in the world for the product for free. Product will be available in 32 ounces. 32 ounces will paint a screen size of 160 inches, 16:9. If you're doing 235.1s, we do have something on the site with Projector Essential. You can go to projector, the projector specification sheet and get a distance stroke calculator that allows you to be able to customize 235.1s if you want to do it that way. We also have to put up, oh yeah, I should do a tutorial on the ViewSonic, because people have been asking me about 235.1 setups, about lenses, about what projectors have them. Usually when it first started off, before we knew the ViewSonics had that capability, you had several options. You had a fisheye lens from a camera. I don't know how you're going to figure out how to attach that to a projector. I did a couple of them. It works to a certain degree. You have to put it in 16:10. But the only problem is it does come up distorted on the edges. It comes up fuzzy on the edges. But it does work, but it's a crap. It's pain in the neck to do it. You have a lens that you can order on eBay, which is an anamorphic lens. But this lens right here can cost you anywhere from $1,200 to $1,300 to $1,400. Or you can pick up any of the ViewSonic projectors past the date of 2016. And you will be able to have an automatic 235.1 option right there. Now I have two ViewSonic projectors. I have one which is my long throw, and I have one that's a short throw. Both of them have a 235.1 option.
Bruce was Gotham.
So we're going to do a, we do need to do some tutorials on 235. We don't have enough of those on there. So I guess we'll be building another page to the website, tutorial page. We're supposed to have a tutorial page. Wait, no. The links has a tutorial page attached to it. So we just have to expand that one. So we'll do a 235.1 on that one, because a lot of people ask questions about that 235, how to set those up. I'm definitely going to put silver tickets. I don't know if they don't mind me putting their tutorial up there, because that tutorial explained it so well. That's how I learned a little bit more about it from watching the tutorial. It explained it very well. But they are right about if you want to do the black bars. So if you do it at 16:9, your bars pop from the top to the bottom. If you do it at 4.3, your bars are from side to side. You can have it at 16:9 and you'll still get bars from side to side if your screen is 4 feet by 8 feet, which is actually good for 16:9, but it also does a 235.1, but still you will receive bars from the top to the bottom. And the reason why they give you the curtains, because when you're doing a gray screen or white screen, those bars are supposed to come up black. They're not supposed to be gray. So they give you a curtain to slide across your screen so you can give off the illusion that you are picking up a black bar from the top to the bottom. If not, you're just going to have this real thin border that's black, but the rest of it's going to be white or gray because it doesn't meet the screen, because it's in 235.1. If it switches over to 16:9, then the screen will meet the border and you won't see those bars in between. But if you're doing at 4.3, you're going to see the bars here and here. But you're not going to watch 4.3 unless you're doing gaming or you're doing something with old movies from back in the day. Then you would have those in the days. And what's the point? It's got a 4.3 screen at the end of the day. Just be done with it. Just get a dedicated 4.3. But if you're going to be doing 235.1 and you're going to be the switch back 4 to 16.9, unless you're going to have two screens, like I had a two-screen setup. But if you're not going to go down that road and you just want one screen to do it all, you're going to have that curtain, because if not, you're going to have these annoying either gray or white bars going right across from the top to the bottom. So that's where the black technology is also superior, because no matter what, you will be able to achieve your border no matter what you're displaying.
We do the incredible. Help save lives. So can you. Your CSL plasma donation can help create 24 life-saving medicines. Be rewarded for your generosity. Help save so many lives. Donate at CSL Plasmas a day.
Now, would I be threatened to put up silver tickets screens? Oh, heck no. I've used silver tickets quite a few times to paint over them. Those are fantastic screens. I love those screens. They got a peg system. That's why I love it. The peg system allows you to slide the pegs into the rail, and then you slide your freaking, hey, stay away from that screen. What's wrong with you? Chop, chop. So now they're playing near my screen. You know better than that. Yeah, you. But anyway, they have a peg system where you slide the pegs onto the rails of the frame, and then you take the support rods, you slide it, feed it through the screen, and you just lock them in place. That's it. Simple, fast, quick. Love putting the screens together. Did have a bit of a headache with the 235.1s. But other than that, I still would buy them because they're cheaper. The 235.1s are way cheaper with them than it is with Elite screens. Sorry, Elite, but your screens are a little more expensive for 235.1 setup. So I love painting over the screens. Except for 230, but Elite screens does have the edgeless, which I do like. So either way, both screens are easy to put together, but that peg system is so easy. It really is. So I don't mind putting their demonstration up to 235.1 because they explained it. But their screens are actually fantastic to paint over. And at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, I don't think they're bothered by us using their screens to paint. As long as we don't sell them, that's a different story. But if we paint over top, what do they care? They got their money at the end of the day. And if people are buying their products to paint over them, why would they care? Now, usually when I'm having these conversations, we're done. Pretty much when you hear me talking on camera about something completely different or this, that, and the other, we're done. I mean, pretty much I'm just showing the screen. Pretty much does its own work by itself. Hey! And that right there on the big sheet, that is network grade 773. Let me get myself a charge real quick. By the way, where is my charger? I got this around. Where is my charger at? Last place is with the charger. Let's see. I remember that guy, I was like, where's the charger? My charger, is it upstairs? It's upstairs. gotta track down where in the world, something that people can't do in their demonstrations, turn the lights on for stuff. Let me see. Never good. Alright, well, I gotta cut the video anyway. I track down what hootenanny I did with my cell phone charger. So I'm gonna end it right here. I gotta come back in. I gotta do some demonstrations on the $34 projector. I'll put the model number where I got it from. That being said, gotta go. Thank you all, and God bless.